The phobia of accountability. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Accountability is the key to growth. If you do not take accountability, you will not truly get to where you're trying to be, or who you're trying to be, I should say. You got to be honest with yourself, man. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to understand when it's time to change some things, when it's time to do something different, when it's time to just address your own self. A lot of times we get caught up in addressing other people, and we get caught up in the average person, I feel like, does not look in the mirror and say what's wrong with them. And once you can do that, I swear, it'll take you to a whole different level where it'll help you become greater. It's definitely not always the easiest thing though, because it takes a certain level of self-awareness to understand what you need to change about yourself. Because the average person, I feel like that most people do not, they're never gonna look at themselves and think that anything's wrong with them, but everyone is flawed. Everyone can do something better. Everyone can change something about themselves, or even better things about themselves that they thought were good, but it's like, damn, nah, I really need to work on this and that. Accountability is one of the things in life I think that is truly beautiful, and I think that it doesn't get the appreciation that it deserves, especially in a man's life. Like, I know we think, oh, women, you know, they don't take accountability and they dodge accountability, but people in general, but I think also for different reasons. Men can take accountability and do take accountability properly. They're better for like the world around them. When women take accountability, they're typically better for themselves and maybe for like their partner. Like, women cannot take accountability and still be like good. Like, it could still be well for like a child or like their job and stuff. Like, they could be well for everything but maybe themselves or like their partner. But a man, I feel like it's so important for a man to take accountability when he needs to, because he becomes better for like the world around him rather than just his one partner or his, you know, just his kid. Like, it's everything, job, this, that, like all the things around you, your community, everything. And all the people in my life who I've seen who don't take accountability and can't look in the mirror and are too scared to have a mirror like almost held up to them, and now they can look at their flaws and stuff. Anybody who's like that, who is too afraid of that and have that phobia of doing that, don't ever really go too far. As people, they never really grow into be, you know, better people. Being caught in that loop of just constantly thinking that nothing is wrong with you, well, the world around you will let you know or show that something is wrong with you, because things will not be clicking. Relationships won't grow, your money probably won't grow, your physique probably won't grow. Like, nothing will flourish the way that it's supposed to. Accountability is the literal water, and you are the seed. Like, you have to use it to grow. That's why I embrace it, because it's like, I know I might need this to become better. In my life, everything revolves around evolution. Like, evolution is what it's all about. Everybody wants to feel right all the time. See, my thing is, I don't really want to always feel right. I want to feel like this makes sense to me, or but I also love the feeling of being like, you know what, I can do this better, or you know what, you were right about this. I need to change that, or I could work on that. Like, I can change this about myself, or I could be better in that area, in that aspect for sure. Like, and I do need to work on that. Easy to sit there, you know. It's easy to sit there and not want to change. It's easy to just try and stay the same person. And I specifically feel like this happens a lot once you see people hit around the age of 25. Why? Because they stop becoming a student. They stop becoming a student. They stop listening. Like, normally like 25, 26, 27, like somewhere in that area is where people would like to stop listening. At a mass though. Yeah, you got your individuals that stop earlier, but at a mass or later. But in mass, I see it a lot in those ages where people think they know everything. You should never stop being a student. You should never stop learning. You should never stop trying to get better and understand that, like, yo, I need somebody to teach me this. I need somebody to do this. I'm not good at this. Let me take this accountability so I can get better at these things and be better for myself and the world around me. Having a phobia of that, which is a phobia I think a lot of people have. Like, we talk about, yeah, I'm scared of this and I'm scared of these type of things and bugs and high fucking and heights and all this stuff. I think people have a phobia of accountability. I think people are horrified of taking accountability. I think people are horrified. I've seen it with my own eyes many, many, many times where people are horrified of saying that they were wrong about this or that. And it's no way to live. I'm telling you, you will not get better in as many aspects as you could if you just truly do take accountability for when you actually are wrong, or when someone is constantly, like, you're hearing the same message get relayed to you about yourself. you do this wrong. And another person, you do this wrong. Yo, bro, you should work on this. Yo, the way you talk to people, the way you act with this, the way you do this. Like, if you're hearing that a lot, then there has to be something there. Like, sometimes some people will want you to take accountability because they don't want to take accountability, so that don't really help you a lot of times. But there is this, it's not easy though, bro. You have to have a serious sense of self. You have to understand when it's like, maybe I was wrong here, maybe I was wrong here. If you gotta go to somebody else, and maybe they gotta tell you, like, yo, honestly, when I'm looking at this, or I'm reading through these text messages or these arguments that you having with your partner or whatever, I ain't gonna lie, bro, you might have been wrong on this one. Like, that's so important to have in your circle, people who will make you take accountability too. And then you gotta take a listen. You can't be like, what? How am I wrong? Bro, all right, you can't do that. You can't do that. You gotta be like, why you should be a student in that moment. You should be like, why you think I was wrong? Okay, like, explain to me where I was wrong there. Because if I'm wrong, I would like to say that I'm wrong. You feel me? That's how you should be. Like, if I was wrong, I want to know exactly why I was wrong. Taking accountability at work, everything, when you mess something up, that's my fault. I did that wrong. I'll be better. I'll try to do it better, or I'll try to be better, or I'm gonna handle that. I'm gonna work that out. Like, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna try my best not to do that. But then again, you gotta allow yourself the space and room to mess up. That's also a part of growth. You're gonna mess up. That milk is gonna get spilled again. You just gotta do what you gotta do to make sure that you don't spill it again. But it's gonna get spilled at some point. Just minimize it. Okay, I learned now. I learned what I did. I hit my arm on the side of the table, okay, and understand and be receptive to what you did. Take it personal for a second. Like, I'm a person who's always trying to take accountability and trying to understand where I went wrong and where I messed up. There's times where it might take me a little while, I know that it's for the better, especially if I know that me taking that accountability will help this relationship between this person. Like, sometimes it's just what it is what you gotta do. It's like, all right, let me it's hard sometimes if you have an argument with, let's just say, your significant other. It's like, it's hard sometimes when you're angry to say that you're wrong, especially if you've been arguing for like days, hours, whatever the case may be. It's hard to stop and be like, wait, I think I might have misunderstood this. Like, it's hard to stop sometimes, but you got to if you really want things to work out the way you want. Think about it. If you put two people in a relationship who like taking accountability, you really think they're gonna break up? I mean, they might, yeah, because the world around you, anything can happen. Like, there's so many factors when it comes to a relationship. But like, that's two people. It's like, bro, they gotta figure it out on some type of level. They gonna last a little bit. They might not last forever because it's a lot that goes on and a lot that gets intertwined into a relationship. But I'm telling you, that's a key right there. That's a very important thing, because a lot of times you could break up with your partner, the person you're in a relationship with, over something dumb, and it's because neither of y'all want to say it's your fault. Something happens and it's like, oh, well, I wouldn't have did this if you didn't do that. Oh, but no, I did this because you did that. And it's really just, it all comes back to the conversation of it's me and you versus that problem. And if y'all would just take accountability and be like, you know what, I could have been better there. Like, yeah, I could have been, it'll get handled. And you get that out the way. I constantly try to reflect on myself and understand where I could have did things better, or where I could do things better, and what I need to work on. You can get straight off your path a little bit, and you can get a little blind sometimes. But once you sit down and you reflect and you run back through life and you run back through certain situations, you kind of realize, and you be like, okay, well, that's in the past now. I might have messed up on that, and I didn't realize that I was wrong in that. But there's a future. So, like I said about the spilled milk, what you gonna do? It spilled already. Now, the only thing you can do is understand why it spilled, and you move on, and you make sure next time that milk is around, you do what you can to not spill it. We always think that money is the thing, like, oh, if I just get this money, if I was this thing, yeah, but it starts even before that. It's also about accountability. It's about, oh, if I get this money, it's gonna be this. If I get the money, it's gonna do this. But like, you're gonna get that once you truly start taking accountability. Once you actually start understanding what you could have did better and how you can get better. Like, there's good accountability and there's bad accountability. Like, there's things that, like, you don't want to be like, I really messed up on this. But then there's stuff that's like good accountability, where it's just like, you know what? I could do this better. I could be better in this area. I could work out better. I could do this. I could try this better. I could try that better. I could, like, it's important, man. It's so important. I do hope that finds everybody who watches this, and can understand when it's time to do that, and when it's time to just, almost man up in a sense. And I need to own up to this. Like I said, it don't gotta be that deep. It's stuff that's not even that deep about it. Stuff that doesn't even take like a super high amount of courage, but more like, and that's the beautiful thing about getting older. Back to that, like, that's the beautiful thing about getting older, is that you become more okay and you become more complacent with taking accountability. Like, you've been through it. You understand it more. Like, you can do it more because you've been through it more. You don't want to be the 30-year-old, 40-year-old who can't do it. That's not where you want to be. That's not who you want to be. That does not help you. That's not gonna benefit you. And then when you see those people that are that age who are still living like that, who don't take accountability and never understood the concept of being, understanding where they've made mistakes and how they can better themselves, and taking that accountability, truly embracing it, you see the issues with them. You see it loud and clear, like their problem. They think they always right. They never see themselves as the person that was wrong in a situation. They always try to justify all their actions. They're like, it's like borderline, like sociopath. Like, they're like borderline sociopaths almost most of the time. Like, it's crazy, bro. I would never want to live like that. I'm not saying I've always took accountability in every situation of my life. Like, but it's a skill. It takes practice. It does. It's going to pay off. And practice is going to pay off. You're going to see it in the things that you do. That's it for this one, man. I hope that reaches all the right people, and I hope y'all can take that message. And if you don't know it, a lot of y'all probably do already, but, the people who need to hear it, hope it finds them. That's it for this one, man. See you on the next one. You know how I go.